Don't skip this video because today's courtroom story is full of shocking twists, hidden secrets, and unexpected revelations. Just when everyone thought they knew the truth, one piece of evidence changed everything. Watch until the end to see how it all unfolds, and you don't want to miss a single moment. Stay tuned. Let's go.
So when I was 17, I got pregnant. I went to the gynecologist and I took another test, and they gave me an abortion pill, which I took, and I thought that was it and it was behind me. There wasn't really anyone I could talk to at the moment. My parents raised a very strict and honestly judgmental household, so I thought that was done. And a few days later, when I came home from school, all the locks had been changed and I couldn't get in, and I begged them to let me back in, and they basically told me that they don't have a daughter anymore. I couldn't get any of my stuff, and so I called my friend Miranda and I asked if I could stay with her, and her mother was kind enough to let me come and stay, and she began to take care of me for the next 8 months, and she incurred some charges that they shouldn't have had to deal with. I wasn't their child, but I was still a minor, and so I am suing my parents for negligence, and I just want to be able to pay back the family that was kind enough to take me in.
All right, so you were 17 at the time.
Yes.
And it begs the question, and I want to just be very clear about the law, that you were then able at 17 to get access to the abortion pill, even though technically you were still a minor, that the law did say at 17 that you could go and that you could access the abortion pill, so that everybody's very clear about what the law states in the situation. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Dalton, obviously a very complicated and a highly emotional situation. What happened? What happened?
Your Honor, we get a bill in the mail from the doctor's office. My wife, Sue, opens it. And Sue, what did you see?
Well, there were charges listed on this bill for medications that I've never taken, but I recognize the name, and then for the treatment, the reason is listed termination. So I realized that my daughter must have been pregnant, and she had chosen to murder her baby, our grandchild, without talking to us. So though she had been raised to not have sex without the sanctity of marriage, she chose to have sex. She then becomes pregnant, and without discussing it with us or out talking to our pastor, anything, she chooses to kill it, to murder our grandchild.
Your Honor, we follow the Lord's scripture in our house, and that's how our daughter, and this is not my daughter, I don't know who this is, because they don't follow the scripture at all. And it became very clear to us in that circumstance, we have no idea who this person is. And at that point, I changed the locks. If someone wants to have premarital sex, have an abortion, get pregnant, and then terminate the fetus, that is a sin. It's crystal clear. There's no gray area here. And you're going to hear her make up a bunch of things why she had to do that. You didn't have to do that. And at that point, I no longer had a daughter, Sue no longer had a daughter, and we changed the locks. She made adult decisions. She can live her life as an adult.
Oh, Mr. Dalton, this just rips my heart out. I'm going to tell you, it rips my heart out.
Us too.
I had, both of my parents are now deceased, but I had an amazing relationship with my parents. And if my father stood anywhere and said that he no longer had a daughter, because I was a daddy's girl, I just don't know how I would feel. I mean, I do know how I feel. I would be devastated. I would be devastated if my parents said they no longer had a daughter. I respect your position. I respect your religious position and your interpretation. But have you thought about the fact that the situation was such that she couldn't come to you in such a very difficult time in her life, that she needed you, that she needed to be able to come and talk to you, that she could not talk to you?
She should have come talk to us. If she had come to talk to us, that baby would be alive today, Your Honor. That baby would be alive today. We could have worked it out. You can't lie, sneak around, go to our trusted physician to get an abortion, no parental consent, didn't say anything. Our faith in the Lord is very clear. That is murder.
Your Honor, how was I
and there is
supposed to be able
there's
to
a
go
special
to them?
place in hell for people that murder babies.
Oh my God.
The worst part of it, how would you feel if your father said that to you? How do you think we felt that this child that we raised, we gave clothes to, we took care of? She never had to have a summer job. She had a wonderful life, a room of her own, a car that she could drive to the gynecologist, all of that. And we find out that she's been lying to us and doing things that are completely against everything that she was taught, everything she was raised to believe. And she murdered our grandchild. We could have raised that child. We could have given it up helped her to give it up for adoption. But we never even had that chance.
We had no say in this whatsoever. This person is standing here, who is not my daughter, is standing here because we didn't have an abortion. We were married for 35 years. We consider the birth of our child a blessing, and then this is what we get? Terrible. There are no winners here, Your Honor, but that drags us into court. I don't even know what to tell you. What child does that to their parents?
But we're missing a fundamental piece of this, Mr. and Mrs. Dalton, is that, and you say that she's not your daughter, she is your daughter, and she'll be your daughter through all of eternity. We're missing a fundamental piece that in her time of challenge, that she couldn't come to you. Have
Your
you
Honor,
really done some soul searching about why it is that she couldn't come and just talk to you?
Her time of need, she took it upon herself to get an abortion. That was the time to come talk to us. Before you committed the murder, that was the time to come talk to us, and we could have worked this out. But to do something that is just so sinful, and then after the fact, I'm going to just go on with my life. How do you reconcile that with all of what we've taught you growing up? I don't know how you can reconcile. I don't know how you can live with yourself. Her time of need, what about the baby's time of need? That's when she should have come to us. She did not.
Alec, clearly you didn't go to your parents. Tell me why. I mean, I pretty much can understand why, but tell me from your perspective, why didn't you go and sit down and talk to them?
I mean, they're so judgmental and closed-minded. My whole life, I have been taught that there just is no answer. I mean, I wasn't even taught that how it could happen. So I was already lost, and I couldn't go to these people who I knew this was going to be their reaction, and so I knew I had to fix it. And I mean, I was still a kid. I couldn't have a kid, and I didn't want, even if I did have a kid, to grow up in the kind of household that didn't feel like they could have those conversations with their parents.
As she says, she's a kid. In our living room, on the coffee table, is a book with all the answers. It's called the Bible. You could have turned to that. You could have read that. You could have turned to our pastor. You could have talked to us. There were a lot of solutions. You took it upon yourself to decide what you were going to do. You decided to play God. You wanted to be an adult. Now you're an adult. You have consequences when you make those decisions.
And to make us pay this, drag us into court and sue us to pay this other person. I mean, clearly this is financially motivated. They just want the money. I mean, there's been no apology.
You all haven't seen each other or talked to each other before you ended up in court today.
No, she's not even said she's sorry.
Nothing.
You all haven't had any conversation since you changed the locks and she left. Did you even know where she was?
Well,
she's an adult. She has not reached out to us. It's very easy to point the finger at us. she has to be responsible. Ella has to assume some responsibility for all of her actions, including terminating that poor fetus.
Ella, so now the locks are changed. You go and you try to get your things, and you can't get into the house. And you go to your friend for help. And this is your friend's mother who's in court today. All right, Ms. Harris, if you will stand up and join us.
Thanks for having me, Your Honor.
So your daughter then is friends with Ella, and you understand that she doesn't have a place to live. So tell me what happened.
I have known Ella since she's been in 7th grade, and I am the decent human being who took this lovely lady in. I am proud that you are part of my family. My daughter, Miranda, they've been friends since 7th grade, and she came to me, and without hesitation, I let her stay in our house. We converted my wife's office into a bedroom.
And what are you doing now?
I am still living with the Harrises. They're letting me stay until I can get on my feet. They've been really helpful and kind to just provide for me until
As long as you need.
Until I'm able to get on my feet and kind of build up some credit and be an adult. Basically what my parents should have done for me. I just want to pay them back what they're owed when I was a minor.
Let me see your list of how you came up with the $3,900. Let me understand this.
She's not paying them back. We're paying them back.
Yeah, they pay him back with my money.
Right.
So in there, I do have the money that they lent me for groceries, the itemized receipt for clothes they had to buy me because I didn't have any when they kicked me out, as well as a receipt for the bed that they had to buy me.
Those receipts are handwritten on paper, and they're worth as much as a piece of paper. That is nonsense what you're looking at, Your Honor.
Correlates to things that make sense to me. It correlates to the cost of a bed, which is very conservative.
She had a bed at home, and had she come to us, she would have still had a bed at home.
I did go to them. They locked me out. I couldn't even get anything.
You never went to us until you terminated that pregnancy.
We would
After
never
you
have
murder
known.
someone isn't the time to say,
She didn't kill
by
a
the
child.
way,
She saved a child. The child was her. She saved herself.
that is a ridiculous statement, and you know it.
You're the one that tried
There
to
is
kill
a
the child by
fetus
putting her
that
on the
is dead
streets.
as a result of her actions, and you're trying to justify that as okay. It's not okay.
Abortion is a politically charged, it's a socially charged, it is a societally charged, religiously charged issue that has been very divisive in this country, frankly. Either people are very much saying that this is wrong, it is a sin, as the Daltons have said, and there are people who believe that it is a woman's right to be able to choose what happens with her body. Aside from that, the law is very clear that parents have rights and responsibilities, with the emphasis on responsibilities, until a child is no longer a minor. And that law does not take into account any religious beliefs. It takes into account a parent's responsibility for their child until they are no longer a minor. This divide is too deep. It's much too painful to be fixed in this courtroom today. There are a lot of things I can do, a lot of things I can fix. But this is what I have taken an oath to do, is to follow the law. And the law says very clearly you have a responsibility to support her until she is no longer a minor, which is why I'm entering judgment in your favor for $3,900. But the tragedy is far deeper than this money. This is an issue that is highly charged in so many ways. And people have to make their own decisions based on what they believe in. And I believe that. I believe that people have the right to make their own decisions.
Not at 7.
I wish I had words that could bring you all together. I'm convinced that that's not possible today. And so all I can do is follow the law, enter judgment for reasons I've said, and therefore judgment for the plaintiff for reasons I've outlined. We'll stand adjourned.
All rise. Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The co-defendants have been ordered to pay $3,900.
I wish we could have been able to talk.
The time for talking was before you decided to have sex with that boy.
May God have mercy on you.